Howdy everyone. Today we'll be talking about UI development and exploring how we integrated backend functionalities like APIs, Cognito, Lambda, and DynamoDB. Now we'll walk through our implementation approach. Gautam will continue.
So this will be our UI, in the starting point of our project, which is the sign up page. This is used to create the account for a user, whether it is a student, a faculty member, or the admin. So there are two different ways the user can create account. One could be signing up with Google. This would be a quick process because it's just a few clicks away. When you click on sign up and then just select your email account which you would be using to log in, and alternatively you can give in your relevant details, your first name, last name, your email address, and a few other details through which you can use to log in. And once we create the account, the login page starts to appear, and we can use either the username or the email address to log in. Currently, the UI is not completely updated where you can see just we have written the email address, but in the backend we have already implemented the logic for using the username to log in. And once the login is done, we will end up on the home page of the dashboard. And we are yet to implement the dashboard part. So until then, Ashok will continue with the API.
So these are the different APIs that we have built. And here, as you can see, there's APIs for login and for resetting the password. And there's two for classes and the users. And we also created different functions in the Lambda functions to create classes and to get classes. These are the Lambda functions that we have created. Login, get class, and reset password and create. These functions are for user creation. And Shashir will talk about Cognito.
Yeah, so we have used Cognito and created a user pool. And if you click on the user pool, then and go to users, you'll find three users there. Oh, sorry, if we go to groups, we can see three groups created here, one for admin, one for faculty, and one for student. The people who are signing up can select which group they fall into and create their accounts. And if we go to users, we can see the number of people who have signed up and the status as enabled. And for confirmation status, we have to verify their emails, which has not been implemented yet. But in the future, we will try to implement all those. And next, Kaushik will be talking about DynamoDB.
We are managing a user pool table in AWS DynamoDB designed to store details such as student email, first name, last name, phone number, and user roles. Our schema is optimized for efficiency and scalability with a unique user ID as the primary key and global secondary indexes on email to facilitate fast and efficient lookups. For security, we are integrating with AWS Cognito to handle password management, ensuring that passwords are not stored directly in our table and are managed securely.
Yeah, so with that said, I'll now show end-to-end flow for this basic sign up and login features. So firstly, when the user lands up on sign up page, he enters his basic details like first name, last name, and so on. I'll show a quick demonstration. So I'm just giving some dummy details here. So I can select my role here, whether I'm joining as a student or a faculty. And when I click on create account, what happens is in the backend, it triggers the Lambda function, which we made for creating user. And it's triggered by the API gateway that we associated with the Lambda function. So this is the API. And when I click on create account, it quickly says sign up successful, and it gives an username, and it also sends an email verification for the users to confirm their email IDs. And after this, you can see these same details reflected in our DynamoDB and Cognito as well. All of that is handled in our Lambda function. So if I go to my DynamoDB first and open my user profiles table, so test user 999 is the user that I just created in this demonstration. You can see that this data flow is happening across front end, back end, and database now. And I chose role as the faculty. You can see the same updated here. And the same thing can be seen in Cognito as well. Yeah, it's the same test user 999 at example.com that you can see here. And these are just built-in features given by Cognito, if the email is verified or not. Once the email is verified, it will change to yes. And the Lambda function also handles user segregation into different groups. Based on the role we choose in the front end, it puts them in that specific bucket. So that was a quick demonstration of how we integrated our front end, back end, and database within AWS. Yeah, so that's about it.